Okay, back at Fort Morgan High School, Legion Field, Larry Kimball is getting ready to kick off to the Englewood Pirates. First quarter, he's waiting for there. We got the whistle from the referee, and he is ready and puts the ball in play. Nice deep kick, lands at the 10, skips into the end zone. So it'll be 1st and 10, Englewood at the 20.
That was a nice kick, kicked it off to the left side, but it didn't go out of bounds. It dribbled into the end zone, and we'll see what Englewood brings to the plate here, 1st and 10 to the 20-yard line.
So they see if they are true to form and see if they come out with a run here. So up to the line, Greg Pearson, number 4. Hands off to Pearson, Number 7 is Isaiah Maestas. He gets 5 yards on the first play from scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 5 from the 25 for Englewood.
Yeah, just a quick dive.
2nd down and 5.
Off right side.
So to the line is the Pirates. Mustangs set up in their defensive formation. Takes a handoff, or takes the snap and throws downfield and is incomplete at about the 35-yard line. So I'll bring up 3rd and 5 from the 25.
Yeah, we were expecting Maestas to be the quarterback. He's thrown it 22 times, but Pearson does have 2 throws on the year, and it seems like he's their starting quarterback tonight.
So 3rd and 5 from the 25. Set up in a single I formation, one receiver to the right. Takes the snap, hands off over the left side, and he is out to about the 33-yard line. So that is enough for a first down for Englewood. So it'll be 1st and 10, Englewood from the 33-yard line.
Looks like they're kind of trying to mix us up. That time Maestas was the quarterback.
So 1st and 10 from the 33 for Englewood. One receiver left. Single back. 2 wing backs to the left side. There's a snap. Pitch to the left to Pearson. He is around the edge and gets a short gain, not to about the 37-yard line for Englewood.
Fort Morgan defenders were quick to get contain on him and not allow him to get outside.
So that brings up 2nd and 8 from the 35 for Englewood. The mist is still rolling in. Englewood up to the line. They have 3 backs in the backfield now. Handoff to Pearson, and he is brought down for a no gain whatsoever, still at the 35, so it'll be 3rd and 8 from the 35-yard line.
As you mentioned, Brian, they lined up in an I with an extra back off to the right, ran that way, had 2 backs leading the way up, and a Fort Morgan defender knifed through all of that and tackled him right as he was getting the ball.
So 3rd and 8 from the 35 for the Pirates. One receiver to the left, single I backfield, 2 wing backs to the right. Takes the handoff and hands it up the middle, and he is stuffed at a fumble. They're blowing it dead. He was down at the 35, I believe, is where they're going to mark it. So that'll bring up 4th down for Englewood. So Fort Morgan defense has held on the first series of plays. Nate Alexander and Ulysses Hernandez are deep for the Mustangs.
Yeah, the Fort Morgan defenders did a really good job. They allowed the 1 first down, but on the succeeding 3 plays, they only got 2 yards.
So in the punt formation, there's the snap. Punt. A good punt. It bounces at the 40, and Ulysses takes it. He is brought down at the 35-yard line.
Stopped at the 36-yard line.
Imagine he'll get a lecture from Coach there. It bounced once, and there was a player for Englewood about 3 yards away when he picked it up on the bounce.
And that ball is going to be slick tonight, so they got to be careful with their possession and hanging on to the ball tonight. So that brings up 1st and 10 from the, they're going to mark it about the 36-yard line for Fort Morgan.
I'm guessing they're going to go boom, boom, and then maybe pitch it Alexander.
Be a good bet. We have I formation, receiver right. Hand off to Nate Alexander over the right side, and it's tripped. Gets a gain of about 1 out to the 37, so it'll be 2nd and 9 from the 37 for Fort Morgan. It was open on that side if he could have kept these feet.
Yeah, one kid tripped him up. That's the old line or fullback ISO. The fullback leads up and hits the linebacker or the defensive end, and Alexander cuts off that block, and that time Englewood a good job on defense.
So 2nd and 9 from the 37 for Fort Morgan. We have receivers left and right in the I formation. We have a flag on the play. I believe Englewood has lined up offsides. They are in the neutral zone.
Englewood in a 5-2 with a strong safety sneaking up to the strong side. 5 down linemen packing it in, obviously wanting to stop that inside running game of Fort Morgan. They've studied the films, Brian.
So now it's about 2nd and 4 from the 43. Fort Morgan in the I formation. Takes a snap, hands off to Nate Alexander, who busts it open. He's down to the 40, 35-30, 25-20, 15-10, 5. Touchdown for Nate Alexander. Fort Morgan leads 6-0 with 8:35 left in the first quarter.
Boy, what a nice run. Same play to the opposite side, and this time the guy didn't trip him up, and there's no one else there. Very nice start.
Fort Morgan, Jacob Frick in to try the extra point. Getting it lined up here. James Martin's the holder. There's the snap, the hold, the kick, up, and it is good. Fort Morgan 7. Englewood nothing with 8:35 left in the first period. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs football on B106 and B106.com. Back at Legion Field in Fort Morgan 7, Englewood 0 with 8:35 left in the first period after a 58-yard run by Nate Alexander to put Fort Morgan up.
Tonight, the Fort Morgan Fire Department is rumored to be lighting off fireworks each time they score, but they had a structure fire call about 20 minutes before, so they may be a little bit late getting here.
Nice kickoff by Kimball. Bounces at the 10, picked up at the 10, at the 15, 20, going left, and he slips down at about the 16-yard line, so it'll be 1st and 10 Englewood from the 16, and there was a example of what the wet grass will do, because he was open, tried to cut, and went right down.
Absolutely. Going back to that scoring play, we talked about how Englewood had 8 in the box and we're packing up there. When you do run stunts and run blitzes to try and stop the inside run, if there's any opening at all, there's no one home behind, and Alexander just outdistanced the safeties get to the end zone.
So 1st and 10 Englewood with a snap. Hands off to Greg Pearson over the left side. He gets a gain out to about the 19. So it'll be a gain of 3, so it'll be 2nd and 7 from the 19 for Englewood.
Pearson seems to be the player they're going to tonight. His 5th run of the night. Fort Morgan up to the task so far. Hopefully they're just playing a base defense and not having to stunt and get caught like Englewood did.
So Englewood up to the line. Receiver left, single back, takes the snap, pitches to the left. And Pearson is out going down the left sideline, and he has got enough for a first down. He is out to about the 31-yard line for Englewood. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 31 for Englewood.
A nice 12-yard run for Pearson. Pearson's their main carrier, and we expected to see a lot of them, and so we're not surprised yet.
So 1st and 10 from the 31 for Englewood. We have a receiver left setting up their wingbacks to the left side with a single back. And we have timeout Englewood. So with 7:29 left in the first period, you're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs football on B106 and B106.com. Back at Legion Field, Kevin Rohde with Brian Nickel. 1st and 10 at the 31 for Englewood. 7-0 Fort Morgan. And we're waiting for there we go, get the go-ahead. I formation, takes the ball and hands off around to the left side, to the right side, and he was met at about the 34-yard line by Richard Herrera. So that'll bring up 2nd and 7 from the 39.
A little bit of a crossbuck, and the Fort Morgan defensive end stayed home and did a good job of holding them to just a couple yards.
It's from the 34, I'm sorry. So 2nd and 7 from the 34. Handoff over the left side, and he drives out to the 40-yard line. So it'll be 3rd and 1 from the 40.
Good hard running by Pearson, and the offensive linemen of Englewood were downfield with them, continuing. Fort Morgan's defensive front's got to do a little better job of controlling the line of scrimmage.
So Englewood, one receiver right, I backfield. Wing back to the right, and he pitches to the right, and he is broke down to about the Englewood's 49-yard line, so that is enough for a first down for Englewood.
Yeah, nice little run again by Pearson. That time kind of a pitch to the right, and he just read the gap and turned it up inside. Fort Morgan a little over aggressive on the pursuit.
So 1st and 10, Englewood from the 48 with 6:12 left in the first quarter. Englewood in their blue pants, white top. Fort Morgan in all black uniforms tonight. Englewood up to the line, I formation. Receiver right, takes the snap, hands off to Pearson over the left side, and he gets down to the 46-yard line of Fort Morgan. So that'll bring up 2nd and 5 from the 47-yard line.
Again, the offensive linemen are down there pushing him and the pile further downfield.
Englewood up to the line. Receivers left and right this time. High backfield. Mestis under center. Takes the snap and keeps it. And he is brought down at the 43-yard line of Fort Morgan. So it's a gain of about 3. So it'll bring up 3rd and 2 from the 43-yard line of Fort Morgan.
And some tough running by the quarterback. First carry for him on the night. For some reason, this game's reminded me of a couple weeks ago against Skyline, where Fort Morgan stopped them, went down and drove, and then kind of let Skyline get a little momentum back by marching it back down the field.
So Englewood with a full house tee with the left receiver to the left, takes the snap. We have a flag on the play. We'll see what the flag is about. It's thrown by the side judge on the far side. So it looks like they're pointing to Englewood.
And we talked about mistakes, Coach. You have a really nice drive going, speaking of Englewood here, and then you have a mistake. Kid lines up off sides on offense. How can that happen? I'm sure the offensive line coach is livid. And now instead of 3rd and 2 on a nice drive, it's 3rd and 7, and those are a little harder to pick up against the Mustang defense.
So 3rd and 7 from the Fort Morgan 48-yard line. Englewood with the I formation, receivers left and right. Mestis under center, takes the snap, is looking to throw this time, and throws it downfield, and it is caught down at the 40, and it is caught by Chris Gutierrez. So that's enough for a first down. That'll be Englewood first down, 1st and 10 from the 40.
Yeah, that was a nice throw with some zip on it. Maestas, as we mentioned earlier, 22 completions for 192 yards on the year.
Englewood up to the line, receiver left, full house T backfield. Hands off to Pearson. Gets about down to the 36-yard line. So it'll be a gain of 4. So it'll be 2nd and 6 from the 36-yard line for Englewood.
All this running, Brian, we're going to be in for a short game.
Ball spun at the 36-yard line. 2nd down and 6.
I think that will be a good thing, and I think the fans would be happy about that too.
Well, it'll be a long halftime. That'll make up for it.
Yeah. So 2nd and 6 from the 36 for Englewood. One receiver left. Takes the snap and is hit in the backfield. He is dropped. Oh, it's taken away from him. He's got 50, 40, 35, 30, down to the 25. It was taken. Charlie Rodriguez took the ball away. We're going to and ran it back to the 25. Now it looks like they're. I did not hear a whistle blow, but it looks like they're marking it. Looks like they're marking it 4th down for Englewood. So apparently a whistle blew. I did not hear it, but they're giving it back to Englewood. So it'll be 3rd and 5 from the 36.
Yeah, it looked like maybe his forward progress had been stopped and they were pushing the whole pile backwards, and that's when the ball came free. But you're right, there were no whistles on the play, and that's not really good officiating. I guess we don't have replacement officials, so we can't blame it on that.
No, they're the regular officials. So first, 3rd and 6, Englewood, one receiver right, pitches it back to Pearson around the right end, trying to get out wide, and he does, and he gets down to the 25-yard line, and we have a flag on the play. Way late after the play was over, so it'll be a dead ball foul.
That was a really nice run. That time he was patient, waited for his blockers to seal off the Fort Morgan defenders, and he got around in and got upfield for a nice carry.
We have a dead ball personal foul on Englewood. So that'll take them back 15 yards. They did get the first down. So that brings it back to the 44-yard line. Now the officials are still discussing where the ball is to be placed, I believe is what they're doing.
Another big mistake by Englewood to have that drive going, and you just have a big momentum building run around the end for a first down, and someone takes a cheap shot 3-4 seconds after the whistle.
So I guess they were resetting the ball. They had marked it off about 5 yards too far downfield. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Englewood from the 39-yard line.
The ball is placed at the 39-yard line.
Right, they don't mark it 1st and 10 and then give them 15 and make it 1st and 25. And I'm not sure whether I agree with that penalty or that new rule, but that's one that's been in place for 10 or so years.
Maces takes the handoff, and he is going to be hit in the backfield and dropped at the 45-yard line. And he was brought down by number 50, who I do not have on my sheet tonight. So it'll be 2nd and 15 from the 45-yard line for Englewood.
Englewood only sending out 2 receivers that time deep, and then one was actually open off to the left side, but he didn't have a chance to check off to that 3rd receiver. The 2 downfield were well covered by Mustang defenders.
Had nice pressure on the quarterback that time. So 2nd and 15 from the 45, one receiver left. Mestis under center, takes the snap, pitches it left to Pearson, and he is brought down for another loss. And he is brought down for about a 4-yard loss. It'll be back to about the 49-yard line of Fort Morgan. So that'll be 3rd and 19 from the 49-yard line.
Yeah, that time they didn't get the defensive end hooked, and a good job by him turning it back inside. They're certainly going to keep trying those ends as long as they have a chance they're going to get them hooked inside.
So 3rd and 19 from the 49 for Englewood. One receiver right, takes the snap, hands it off, and it's an end around on the right side, open down to the 40. And he is brought down. He'll have forward progress to the 40-yard line, I believe.
Johnson on the reverse.
We have a flag on the play in the backfield of Englewood.
You can hear the coaches in the box yelling, hold, hold, so maybe this one's going back too. Although 4th and 10 might not be a bad option for Fort Morgan.
So we'll see what looks like they're going to march him back, because if it's 10 yards from where it's marked.
Well, yeah, 3rd and forever.
Let's see, he's moving it up a little bit. So it was 3rd and 19, and it's 5 yards back from that where they threw the flag. Then it'll be another 10 yards back behind that. So it's going to be.
The ball is now clear back at the 38-yard line.
So it'll be 3rd down from the 38-yard, from the Englewood 38-yard line.
Yeah, I don't know if any high school team has an answer for 3rd and 32.
3rd and 32 from the 37. For Englewood, they're lined up, have their receiver left, single back, and they jumped. So that will be another 5 yards back. So now it will be 3rd and 37 from about the 32-yard line for Englewood.
Make that 3rd and 37.
So I don't know. Sometimes I think you're better off if you just punt the ball and get rid of it and take your lumps.
Yeah. Well, you hope to get a little bit of positive yardage on this 3rd down play so that you don't get Fort Morgan too good of a offensive position.
So 3rd and 37. We'll see if they get the play off. There's 7 seconds left in the first period. Lined up with a receiver left. There's the snap. Handoff to Mestas up the middle. And he is finally brought down.
Over the right side.
He is finally brought down at the 36-yard line, and we have another flag on Englewood. I believe it is going to be unsportsmanlike conduct on Englewood, and it was after the play, and it was a punch to the face mask.
Yeah, with the head official going over to the coach, you kind of have to feel like that one's going to be an ejection.
So it was. I think he was the one that had the problem before. We'll find out here if they will be. If he will be missing the rest of the game. So have a dead ball, personal foul to Englewood, and he has been ejected. So that means he will not be able to play next week either. So that is at the end of the first quarter. Fort Morgan 7, Englewood 0. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs football on B106 and B106.com. Welcome back to Legion Field in Fort Morgan, where Fort Morgan leads Englewood 7-0 at the start of the second period. It is 3rd and I don't believe they've marked the. Have they marked the?
They have, and they did mark it right, because from the 36, 15 yards would certainly be back to the 21, and they're putting it at about the 23, 24.
So it is 4th and 46 from the 24. So Englewood in punt formation. There's the snap. The punt. It's a good punt. Nate Alexander goes through his arms, but he falls on it, and it is down at the 46-yard line of Fort Morgan. So it'll be 1st and 10 Fort Morgan from the 46. B&B Appliance. B&B Appliance at 502 Ensign in Fort Morgan can help you save water, energy, and the environment without sacrificing quality and performance. Change for the better with B&B Appliance. So 1st and 10, Fort Morgan from the 46-yard line. Receiver left, I formation. Handoff to Nate Alexander over the left side. And he is down to the 50-yard line. So that's a gain of about 4. So it'll be 2nd and 6 from the 50.
After the game last week, Brian, we visited with the Fort Morgan coaching staff, and they had some issues with the cheap play of the Denver North team. Hopefully this won't degenerate into that and have, some unsportsmanlike play by Englewood.
Yeah, hopefully it'll stop. So 2nd and 6 for Fort Morgan from the 50. Takes the snap, hands it off up the middle to Bohm, and he gets a gain of about 2. So it's going to be about 3rd and 4 from the 47-yard line.
There's Bohm's first carry. That's only Fort Morgan's fourth offensive play of the game, and we're already in the second quarter.
So Fort Morgan up to the line. Receivers left and right, I formation. Martin's under center, drops the ball, and I don't know who got on it. We'll see. Martin seemed to have fallen back on the ball, so now it'll be fourth down from the 47.
He was lucky to get that back. There's a defensive lineman jumped in the pile and was wrestling with him. Maybe his time in the weight room this year paid off.
So it looks like they're going to punt. Tony Swetzik is coming into the game. So the mist is still falling. I'm sure the field is getting wetter. Ball's hard to handle. So Tony Swetzik back to punt. Pearson is deep for Englewood. There's this. Oh, it's a fake over the right-hand side to Nate Alexander, and he picks up the first down. He is down to the 37-yard line of Englewood. So the fake worked for Fort Morgan this time. So it'll be 1st and 10, Fort Morgan from the 37-yard line.
Yeah, it was very nice. Fake punt, just snapped it to the deeper of the 3 up men, and they all went around the right side and easily got the first down.
So 1st and 10 from the 38 from Fort Morgan in the full house backfield. Martins drops the ball, picks it up, and it's going over the right side, and he is down to the 30.
That's Martins on the keeper.
And he is out just inside the 30, about the 29-yard line, I believe. So they're going to mark it about a yard short of the first down. So they'll bring up 2nd and 1 for Fort Morgan.
Yeah, he took on a couple tacklers, would-be tacklers, and they did arm tackles, and he just kept running right through it.
Fort Morgan up to the line in the full house tee. Takes the snap, hands off to Nate Alexander over the right side. He's free to the 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Nate Alexander. Touchdown, Fort Morgan. That makes it 13-0 Fort Morgan with 9:30 left in the second quarter.
Touchdown runs of 58 and now 29 yards for Nate Alexander. They must have picked up something in the scouting report that showed that was going to be the open play of the night.
So Jacob Frick is in for the extra point. Kicking to the southeast end of the field. Martins is the holder. There is the snap, ball down, and we have a flag on the play. There's a dead ball.
Well, with that kick, it would have been good from about the 20-yard line. So as long as he kicks it like that this time, we'll be good.
So somebody apparently moved on the line. So the extra point try now comes from the 15. Snap, hold, down, up, and this time it is no good, off to the right. So with 9:30 left in the second period, Fort Morgan 13, Englewood nothing. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustang Football on B106 and B106.com. Back at Legion Field in Fort Morgan 13, Englewood nothing with 9:30 left in the second period after a 29-yard run by Nate Alexander. Eric Kimball waiting for the go-ahead from the referee as they check the refs to make sure everybody's in position. And it looks they are. Eric Kimball up to the ball, and it is kicked and rolling towards the south or the north sidelines. And it will be 1st and 10, Englewood from the 21-yard line.
Good kick coverage on that play by the Mustangs. Englewood starting their third drive after that marathon 18-play drive that saw them get all the way into Fort Morgan territory down to the 36 and then end up punting from their own 23.
So they kind of had it in reverse that time. We'll see if they come out and can regroup and get positive yardage on this drive or if they self-destruct again. So Englewood in an I formation, handoff to Pearson over the right side, and he is met at the line. And he might have got to the 22, maybe the 23. We'll call it 2nd and 8 from the 23.
They just keep going back to Pearson diving off the one side or the other and then trying to bounce it outside.
The second quarter alumni winner is Tim Malone, class of 1983.
So they're calling it 2nd and 9 from the 23 for Englewood. I formation, receivers left and right. Takes the snap, hands off to Pearson up the middle again. And he is across the 25 out to, we'll call it the 27-yard line. So that's a gain of 4. So it'll be about 3rd and 5 from the 27.
Fort Morgan defenders doing a good job meeting him at the hole, but they're tackling him up high and no one's getting his legs, and he's just driving the pile for 3 more yards after that.
Englewood breaks the huddle. We have receivers left and right, I formation. Mestis under center, takes the ball, and it's pitched back to Greg Pearson, and he is brought down for a loss back to about the 26-yard line. We'll call it a loss of 1, so it'll bring up 4th and 6 from the 26-yard line.
That's Pearson's 15th carry of the night. He's going to be tired on a cold night like this. Those hits are going to start adding up.
So 4th down, Nate Alexander and Ulysses Hernandez are deep at about the 40-yard line for Fort Morgan. Englewood still running people on the field, getting ready to punt to Fort Morgan. So we'll see if they try to catch this wet ball. So the punt is away. Nice punt to Nate Alexander at the 40, 45, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30. We have a flag on the play. He was driven out of bounds about the 31, 32-yard line of Englewood. We'll see what the flag is.
I'm going to guess a hold.
Illegal block in the back on Fort Morgan. So that'll set him back to the 45-yard line. So it will be 1st and 10.
About the 45, the Mustangs will have it there. 1st down and 10.
1st and 10 from the 45 for Fort Morgan.
I'm hoping the players out there are staying warmer than I am up here, Brian. That wind's coming right in our window and keeping us cool.
So Fort Morgan in a full house back. Handoff to Nate Alexander over the right side again, down to the 35, down to the 30. Whatever's there, they seem to like. So that's enough for a 1st down. That's 15 yards down to the 30-yard line for Fort Morgan.
That's going to be a Mustang. 1st down.
Yeah, that was a really nice run there. And keep that up, I guess.
They seem to have found a hole on this right side that they're exploiting very well. So 1st and 10 from the 30 for Fort Morgan in the full house tee. And this time Martin keeps it out to the left side, and he is down to about the 25-yard line. So it's a gain of 5 for James Martins on a keeper around the left end. That'll bring up 2nd and 5 from the 30.
Martin's third carry that time. They faked the dive up the middle, and Martins tried to do kind of a naked bootleg around the left side. He avoided one and ran over a second one to get some positive yardage.
So 2nd and 5 from the 25. I think I said the 30. I was 5 yards off there. 2nd and 5 from the 25 for Fort Morgan. Martin's under center. Takes it, hands off to Nate Alexander over the right side. This time he only gets about 2 yards down to the 23-yard line. So they'll bring up about 3rd and 3 from the 23.
Justin Wayne on the tackle, 3rd down.
You know, one of these times on an obvious run down, Fort Morgan's going to do a play action and be able to toss it right over the top because Englewood's sending their safeties. They're throwing everything at Fort Morgan to try and stop this potent running game that Fort Morgan has going on tonight.
So 3rd and 4 from the 24. Fort Morgan in a tight formation. Martin's under center, and Englewood has just jumped off sides, so that should give Fort Morgan a 1st down.
Well, go ahead.
At about the 20, at the 19-yard line. Now we have a timeout on the field. Englewood. So with 5:24 left in the second period, Fort Morgan 13, Englewood nothing. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs football on B106 and B106.com. Welcome back to Legion Field in Fort Morgan. Fort Morgan 13, Englewood nothing with 5:24 left in the second quarter. 1st and 10, Fort Morgan from the 18-yard line.
On that last play, Brian, we talked about discipline. Englewood doesn't seem to have the same sort of discipline that Fort Morgan does.
So 1st and 10, Martin's under center. Calls it out, takes the snap, and hands it to Jared Boehm over the left side. And he is down to the 5, into the end zone for Jared Boehm. Touchdown. That makes it 19-0. Fort Morgan with 5:17 left in the second quarter.
That's only Boehm's second carry of the night. Only Fort Morgan's 12th play of the night, and 3 rushing touchdowns of 18, 29, and 58.
They're making they're good use of their plays. Jacob Rickon for the extra point. Snap down. Ball is up, and it is no good to the left this time. So with 5:17 left in the second period, Fort Morgan 19, Englewood nothing. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs football on B106 and B106.com. Back at Legion Field, Eric Kimball getting ready to kick off after a touchdown run by Jared Boehm of 23 yards. Makes it 19-0. Fort Morgan. Kick in the air, down to, bounces at the 10, picked up there at the 15, 20, and down at about the 22-yard line. So that'll be 1st and 10, Englewood, from the 22-yard line.
Nice job of O'Connor sticking his nose in there, number 27. Knocked Pearson's legs out from underneath him.
So 1st and 10, Englewood from the 21. Down 19. So they come out in a high formation. Receiver split left and one receiver right. Takes the snap. Hands. It's a keeper by the quarterback, and he is drilled hard at about the 24-yard line.
On the keeper,
so that'll be a gain of about 2. We have I'm not sure if that's the quarterback that is down. Number 5, Justin Wade, is up now and walking off the field. So that's good to see him up and going on his own power.
Absolutely missed us that time. Looked like maybe he misread the play or the running back didn't do what he wanted, and all of a sudden he was in the backfield with the ball and just did a good job of making a couple yards out of nothing.
So 2nd and 8, takes the ball, hands off up the middle. Back at Legion Field in Fort Morgan. Fort Morgan 19, Englewood nothing with 3:22 left in the second quarter. Englewood 4th and 9 from the 23. Set to punt back to Fort Morgan. Nate Alexander is deep at about the 42-yard line. Englewood, the left, looked like the left guard or left tackle jumped. I don't know if he was jumped because the Fort Morgan guy moved, or we'll see what they call. They're going to call it against offsides against Fort Morgan. So that'll bring up 4th and 4 from the 27 for Englewood.
Now they're huddling up. I wonder whether they're going to think it's time for a fake punt of their own. Down 19-0 with nothing going your way. And I don't know, is there enough time left for them to even muster an offense to get down the field?
3:22 left in the half. They're lined up to punt. Now we'll see what they do here. Then the Englewood end jumped offsides. So now they'll mark it back to the 23-yard line. So they'll bring up 4th and 9 again from the 28. From the 23, I'm sorry.
For our older fans, if you remember the Keystone Cops, that's kind of what these last couple of plays remind me of. No one seems to know what they're doing, and meantime, we're trying to find a football game.
So 4th and 9 from the 24. Back, it is punted, and it coming down. Nate Alexander has it at the 50, takes a knee, and that is where Fort Morgan will take over. Be 1st and 10, Fort Morgan from the 50-yard line. From some of our sponsors here, Platte Valley Hearing Center. You don't have to travel out of town to receive the best and most advanced hearing health care. Visit Platte Valley Hearing Center, located at 409 East Platte Avenue in Fort Morgan. Ackley Building Center, your one-stop center for projects around your home, office, or yard, and they now carry appliances. Ackley Building Center, located at 1402 Mill Street in Brush.
So it'll be interesting to see if Fort Morgan can get 50 yards and another touchdown before half.
So 1st and 10 for Fort Morgan. Nate Alexander with the ball at the 40, 45, and down at the 43-yard line.
Nate Alexander over the right side.
So that will bring up the 2nd and 3 from the 40, from the 43.
Wade on the tackle.
We were talking about discipline. Their defensive lineman was more interested in pushing and shoving the offensive lineman, as Alexander ran about 6 inches behind him.
So we'll call it 2nd and 2 from the 47. Martinson with the handoff to Nate Alexander over the right side, and he is stopped for no gain. So that'll bring up 3rd and 2 from the 47.
Right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that time they stunned it in the right way. So third and 2 from the 42-yard line for Fort Morgan. Tight formation. Martin's under center, and it's a keeper up the middle, and he is down to the 35-yard line. I think if he'd have kept his head up, I think he could have run it in for a touchdown. You're right. Most of the time when you run a quarterback sneak, you expect to have to push over the pile, and he didn't have anyone hit him, and he just was leaning so far forward he fell over his own feet. Nice run.
So 1st and 10, Fort Morgan from the 36-yard line of Englewood, leading 19-0 with 1:50 left in the first half. Martin's under center. Tight formation. Takes a snap. Looking downfield. Throws it incomplete. Trying to hit Eric Kimball down the right sideline. So it'll bring up 2nd and 10 from the from the
Too long. Second down and 10.
36-yard line.
You know, we talked about discipline on that play. Who'd have thought Fort Morgan was going to pass, but all three of the Englewood defensive backs did their job, and Martins really didn't have anyone open on that play.
So 2nd and 10 from the 36 with 1:38 left in the first half. Martins under center. Tight formation for Fort Morgan. Takes the snap again, and this time he's going another keeper down to the 28-yard line for Fort Morgan.
28-yard line.
So that'll bring up,
Going to bring up a third down and 2.
that'll be 3rd and 2 from the 27-yard line.
Martin's 5th carry, all of them for positive yardage except for one where he got stopped right at the line of scrimmage.
So Martin's under center. Takes the snap, hands off to Nate Alexander over the right side. He's down to the 20, down to the 15, and brought down at about the 13-yard line for Fort Morgan. So it'll be a first down for Fort Morgan from the 13-yard line.
Looks like there's nothing that Englewood can really do to stop them with their power running game.
So a minute left and counting now in the first half. Fort Morgan 19, Englewood nothing. Fort Morgan driving, and they are down to the 13-yard line of Englewood. So Fort Morgan in a tight formation. Hands off. It is. No, he did not hand off. He's around the right end at the 5 and still going. And he is finally brought down at about the 1-yard line. So it'll be first and goal for Fort Morgan from about the 1-yard line.
Nice job of faking that run that they've been running and then just keeping it around the outside, and looked like they had him stopped about the 8-yard line, and he just ran through another tackle and dove down to the 1. A nice carry by Martins.
So Fort Morgan has called a timeout. So another message from our sponsor, Stubbs Gas and Oil, is located at I-76 and Highway 39 in Wiggins. Don't delay and get there today to see why convenience is Stubbs' middle name. Morgan Federal Bank, keeping community banking simple and committed to their community. Building today's business, buildings by design. First and goal from the 1 for Fort Morgan. Waiting for the signal from the referee to go ahead, and there it is. So Martin's under center. And Englewood has just jumped off sides. So that'll get him about a foot closer. So it'll be still first and goal.
I wonder if they watched the films from some of the early games, because, you know, I'm expecting Martins to just dive it, you know, right up the middle, and they're trying to stunt to the outside.
So first and goal, and Martins is stopped at about the 2. He lost a little yardage on that play.
He dropped the ball in there, Brian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and luckily for him, number 2 picked it up and tried to get some yardage. Number 2 is, oh, that was Martins. No, I don't know who picked it up. Someone picked it up and ran around the side there.
So Fort Morgan calling another timeout. So it's second and goal from about the 2 for Fort Morgan. Martin's under center.
I think it was 32
McBride
that ends up losing one, but he really did the team a great favor by picking up that ball.
So second down for Fort Morgan. Martins takes the snaps, handed to Nate Alexander, and he is into the end zone for another Fort Morgan touchdown. So with 25.9 seconds left in the second period, that makes it 25-0. Fort Morgan over Englewood.
Nate Alexander's 3rd touchdown, his shortest of the night. 58 on the first one, cut that in half. He went 29, and this time he only goes 2. But he seems to be the man for Fort Morgan tonight, Brian.
They have a slew of runners to pick from. They keep picking a different one every week. So Jacob Frick on for the extra point. The ball is down kick is up, and it is no good to the right.
It's no good.
So with
25.9
25.9 seconds left in the first half, Fort Morgan 25, Englewood nothing. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs football on B106 and B106.com. Welcome back to Legion Field in Fort Morgan with Kevin Rohde. I'm Brian Nickel. Fort Morgan 25, Englewood nothing. After a 2-yard run by Nate Alexander, Eric Kimball ready to kick off to Englewood. And waiting and waiting. Here we go. There is the kick. It's topped and taken at the 40 by Englewood, and he is met and dropped at about the 42-yard line of Englewood. So it'll be 1st and 10 Englewood from the 42.
I understand the idea of squibbing so they can't carry it back, but they haven't been able to do anything with the kickoff, and let's kick it on the ground a lot farther back. My strategy.
First down, Englewood.
So 1st and 10 Englewood from the 43 with 20.3 seconds left in the first half. Englewood in the I formation. We have a flag on the play. We'll see what they're something against.
The head official got hit in the head by the football being tossed forward by one official to the line judge.
There's offsides on Fort Morgan. So they'll bring up 1st and 5 at the 46-yard line for Englewood.
Well, the last thing they want to do is give Englewood a score with 20 seconds left in the half. And they just gave them 5 yards without any clock time.
So Englewood up to the line, single back. He is back looking downfield, out to the right, and he throws it back across the field. And he is number 10 for Englewood. That would be Chris Gutierrez. Caught the ball down about the 36-yard line, and then he was drilled and taken down.
Did a good job of holding on. That's Gutierrez's second catch. The only 2 pass plays of the game for Englewood are completion.
1st and 10 Englewood spikes the ball to stop the clock. Have 7.4 seconds left in the first half. So it'll be now 2nd and 10 from the 37 for Englewood.
Mestis had all sorts of time on that previous pass play and scrambled around and finally found Gutierrez out there all alone on the right-hand side.
So Englewood with 3 receivers, 2 right, 2 left, and 1 right, and now Fort Morgan has called a timeout. They sure don't want Englewood to get in the end zone at this late stage of the first half. So go ahead.
Fort Morgan has done a really good job on defense. Other than that one drive that they let them kind of slowly march down, and then on this, but they're probably in that prevent defense trying to make sure that they don't give up a cheap touchdown, make them earn it. So we'll see, I guess.
2nd and 10 from the 37. Englewood getting their play set up, so we'll see what kind of an arm that Mestis has, if he can get it to the end zone. 7.4 seconds left in the first half. Englewood has 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right with a single back. And Mestis takes the snap, drops back, and he is being rushed, and he is being pursued down to the 35, to the 30, and there is no time left on the clock. That is the end of the first half. Fort Morgan 25, Englewood nothing. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs football on B106 and B106.com. Welcome back to Legion Field in Fort Morgan with Kevin Rohde. I'm Brian Nickel. Fort Morgan leading Englewood 25-0. With the start of the second half pending, looks like Joey Snyder is warming up a little bit here on the sideline. So if Fort Morgan goes down and scores on their first possession, we may start seeing some substitute. Maybe some of the JV kids get a chance to play in the varsity game tonight.
You bet. And a number that we haven't called tonight on offense is a young man who's done a great deal for the Mustangs so far this season, Cody Davis. We talked about how we just haven't gotten to the point where we're running reverses and motion sweeps. Haven't had to because we run the power game. Maybe it'd be nice to get him a chance to get a hold of the ball a couple times, maybe even let him play in that tailback spot where Alexander is, or maybe Pineda. And of course, you like to reward the kid who's having a good game as well. And Nate Alexander having the game of his career, I think, tonight.
Yeah. So getting ready to kick off Englewood to Fort Morgan. Nate Alexander is deep at about the 6-yard line. And it is a short kick taken at the 30 and down at about the 31-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 Fort Morgan from the 31. Was taken by Oreo Canas at the 31-yard line for Fort Morgan.
He did a good job of trying to field it. When he bobbled it, he just fell on it and curled up and protected the ball. And that's what the coaches teach everybody but the two guys that are deep that are supposed to catch it and run.
So 1st and 10 Fort Morgan from the 31-yard line. Coming out in their power formation. Martin's under center. Takes it and hands off to, he keeps it around the left end, and he is out to about he gets about 2 to the 33-yard line, so it'll be 2nd and 8 from the 33.
Well, all first half they ran pretty much straightforward stuff, had one kind of crossbuck type play, and then on that one they had everybody going left, and Martin's just did a naked bootleg to the right, and Englewood's defensive end staying home.
Yep. So 2nd and 8 from the 33 for Fort Morgan. Power formation. Martins takes the snap, hands off to Nate Alexander over the left side. He's down to the 40 and out to the 44-yard line, so that is enough for a Fort Morgan first down. So it'll be 1st and 10 Fort Morgan from the 43-yard line.
Alexander starting off right where he left off first half with a nice carry of 11 on his first attempt.
They're going back to what they used in the first half, and that has been on the left side of the Englewood defense has been open. So we'll see if they continue that trend. Fort Morgan up to the line. James Martin's under center. Power formation. Handoff to Nate Alexander over the left side. And not much room there. He gets maybe a yard to the 44. So it'll be 2nd and 9 from the 44.
Yeah, that time Englewood kind of stunted into that play and really kept Alexander from getting much yardage. If he continues to get that kind of yardage, he ought to take his 2 blocking backs out for a milkshake or something after the game. Maybe it's too cold for milkshakes.
Go out for some hot coffee or something, or hot cocoa. 2nd and 9 for Fort Morgan. Martin's under center. Takes it, hands off to Jared Boehm up the middle. And he has got about 4 yards. He is out to the, we'll call it the 47 of Fort Morgan. So it'll be 3rd down. About 3rd and 6 for Fort Morgan.
Yeah, nice hard run there. Not much there. We'll see what Fort Morgan's answer for 3rd and somewhat long is.
So Fort Morgan in their power formation. Martin's under center. Calling out the signals. Takes it, hands off to Nate Alexander over the left side. He was open for a minute, and then he is brought down at about the 40. They're going to mark it about the 49-yard line of Englewood. So that'll bring up about 4th and 2 for Fort Morgan.
Yeah, he was just running along, and a defender comes out of nowhere. The defender didn't even know he had the ball, kind of like a coincidental meeting, and and made the tackle and probably stopped the touchdown because Alexander was just starting to build speed.
So 4th and 2 from the Englewood 49. Martin's under center. He drew the Englewood line off sides, so that was an easy first down for Fort Morgan.
Another sign of a dominating running game is not just that they're marching the ball down and scoring every time, but Englewood has completely got out of its defensive game plan and is just stunting linebackers into all the gaps, trying to break up those plays and find some way to stop Fort Morgan.
So 1st and 10, Fort Morgan from their own 44-yard line, or from the Englewood 44, I'm sorry. Takes the ball, hands off to Nate Alexander over the right side. He's down to the 30, drugged down at about the 27-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10, Fort Morgan from the 27.
Another very nice run of 17 on that play. Alexander having several double-digit runs on the night.
So the clock is winding down. 8:15 left in the third period. 25-0 Fort Morgan. 1st and 10 at the 27, and using all the clock that they can on each possession. Shorten this game down as much as they can. So Martin's under center. Takes the snap. It's a keeper. He's looking to pass, and he gets back up to the line of scrimmage. So we're going to call it 2nd and 10 from the 27.
He slipped there. He's lucky that he didn't drop to a knee for a 5-yard loss. I didn't have a chance to look downfield to see if any of the receivers were open, but he really never had a chance to throw because he lost his footing and then just had to head upfield and try and get back to the line of scrimmage.
So 2nd and 10 from the 27 from Fort Morgan. Martin's under center. Takes it, hands off to Nate Alexander over the left side. And there is not much running there. He is down to the 25-yard line, so we'll call it a gain of 2. So it's going to be 3rd and 7 from the 25-yard line.
Yeah, big Matt Peters, a junior for Englewood, number 70. He's 5'9", 290 pounds out there at Englewood's right defensive tackle. Just kind of got a hold of Alexander and didn't let him keep going.
So 3rd and 8 from the 25. Fort Morgan I formation, receivers left and right. Martin's under center. Takes the snap, pitches it back to Nate Alexander around the right side, and he is going to be dropped for a loss back to the original line of scrimmage. And it is going to be now 4th and 10 from the 27.
That play just never really had much of a chance. Englewood maybe now finally figuring out how to stop that play, and maybe next drive we'll see Baum going for 20 yards up the middle.
So 4th and 10 from the 27 in their flex formation. Bohm in the backfield, receivers left and right. Martin's looking downfield, and he has got Cody Davis, and he had it for a minute and was hit and dropped the ball. So it's an incomplete pass. So they'll bring up 1st and 10 for Englewood from the 27-yard line.
Well, you're right. That time Davis opened for a little bit, caught the ball, and wasn't able to finish the play and bring the ball all the way to the ground with him as he's being tackled. I saw him lined up in that right slot, and I wondered whether they would throw to him or whether they'd have him go on a kind of a in-motion quick pitch to the left side.
So 1st and 10 for Englewood from the 28-yard line. 5:51 left in the third period, 25-0 Fort Morgan. Handoff over the right side to Pearson again, I do believe. He gets a gain up to the 30. So it's a gain of 2, so it'll be 2nd and 8 from the 30-yard line.
Pearson again, their workhorse. It's his 16th carry.
So 2nd and 8 from the 30 for Englewood. break the huddle.
Looks like Pearson's maybe limping a little bit up there.
One receiver left. Takes the ball, hands off to Pearson. He is out to the 40 or out to the 37-yard line.
Stopped by Cody Davis.
So it will be third and about 1
Third down and a yard.
from the 37.
Nice hard running. If he is limping, he didn't win that one. He went right through the hole, head down, and got 7 yards.
Englewood in a single back formation. One receiver left, takes the ball, hands off to Pearson again. And he looks like he fumbled the ball, but they're calling him down, and it looks like he has enough for the first down for Englewood.
Stopped by James Martin.
So they're going to give him the first down. So it'll be first and
That's an
10 for Englewood from the, we'll call it the 48-yard line.
And now the officials are calling a timeout. Maybe one of the players in the Englewood huddle had issues. Looks like some of the Englewood players are pinked out today. A couple of them have pink socks in support of breast cancer awareness.
That's a possibility. So first and 10 from the 38-yard line. Have a flag on the play. False start on Englewood.
You know, as a coach, I don't know what you can do other than just shake your head at this point. Here, first drive of the half, Fort Morgan's gone down and scored. You know, or not scored, I guess, but had some success. And here you're having a nice drive, and the guy who's the blocking back is the guy who jumps.
So first and 15 from the 33-yard line for Englewood. Takes the ball, pitches it out to the right, and Kamel Johnson runs it out to about the 35, so that's going to be a gain of 2. Now let's see if they even mark getting that far. And we'll call it the 35.
Boy, did he get popped as he tried to go around the corner. Someone came through a block and just delivered a blow to Johnson there. Johnson's fourth carry of the night.
So second and 13 from the 34 for Englewood. Come out in the one receiver to the left with a T backfield. Takes the ball and hands off to Pearson, and he is dropped for a loss of about 1 back to the, we'll call it the 33-yard line. So we'll say it's a loss of 2 back to the 33.
Yeah, no fault on Pearson that time. When he got the ball, there were 3 defenders already jumping on him. Their offensive line's got to do a better job for him.
So third and 15 from the 33 for Englewood.
Of course, we have to give credit to the Fort Morgan defensive line that has just dominated Englewood tonight and has played a really good game so far.
So Englewood in the I formation, receivers left and right. Takes the ball, looking back, and he is being pressured in the backfield, and he is dropped for a loss. He is sacked, and they're going to mark it clear back to the 23-yard line. So that was a loss of 10. So that'll bring up 4th and 25 from the 23.
4th and 23.
Well, this time they must have gone over to the punt team. Nope, they're short one player out there, and they're yelling to the sideline for looks like an end to come in.
Nate and Yuli back.
So Nate Alexander and Ulysses Hernandez deep for Fort Morgan at about the 42-yard line. Englewood ready to punt. Snap back to the punter. It is a short punt off to the left. It only traveled out to the 43-yard line of Englewood. So it'll be 1st and 10, Fort Morgan, with 1:27 left in the third period.
Yeah, on a play like that, you know, you almost might as well try and throw the ball rather than punting for 10, 15 yards.
So 1st and 10, Fort Morgan from the 44. In their flex formation. Cody Davis in motion, gets the pitch to the left, and he is at the 45, to the 40, 35-30, down to the 25, brought down at the 20.
Cody Davis on the sweep.
They're calling him out at about the 23-yard line.
Carries it all the way down the
So that is enough for a first down for Fort Morgan.
First down.
As we mentioned earlier, that's Davis's first run, and nice run of 21 yards on your first attempt. He is really trying hard, but Maestas for Englewood was out there, plays quarterback and free safety. So he'll be another kid that's tired tonight.
So 1st and 10 from the 21 for Fort Morgan. Fort Morgan in their flex formation. Nate Alexander in motion to the right, and the ball has been dropped, and Fort Morgan did recover it. Trevor Gherkin recovered the fumble.
Ball comes loose. Looks like Fort Morgan fumbled.
So it will be, that was a
Ball's going to be placed at the
gain
15-yard line.
down to the 15, so
Second and 4.
it will now be 2nd and 4 from the 15.
Yeah, kind of a strange play there.
I didn't see if he was going to hand that off or if he just lost control of it from the get-go, but Fort Morgan in their flex formation, 2nd and 4. Nate Alexander in motion to the right, and there is no gain. Martin's on a keeper, and he is dropped at about the 16-yard line, so that was a loss of 1. So it'll be 3rd and 5 from the 16 for Fort Morgan. And that is bringing us to the end of the third period. 25-0, Fort Morgan over Englewood. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustang Football on B106 and B106.com. Back at Legion Field in Fort Morgan with Kevin Rohde, I am Brian Nickel. Fort Morgan 25, Englewood nothing. In what seemed like a very quick quarter, Fort Morgan on a 4-play drive at the moment. 3rd and 4 at the 16.
You know, the temperature tonight has really discouraged the crowd. I thought homecoming coming in with 3 victories that we might see a full bleachers here. I know my daughter decided not to come because of the cold, and I'd say that the bleachers are only about 25% full tonight. And cheerleaders, they just announced, are doing a good job. They're in their cold weather gear with heavy parkas and hoods on, and I think as long as they keep moving, they're doing good.
Fort Morgan on an end around at the 10 to Cody Davis down at the 5-yard line, so that'll be enough for a first down. So it'll be Fort Morgan first and goal at the 5.
First down and goal.
Nice run by Cody, kind of a misdirection type play. Had us fooled there for a minute, at least I was.
Cody's coming out of the game at the moment. So it is first and goal from the 5 for Fort Morgan with 11:40 and counting in the fourth period. Martin's under center, takes the ball and hands it off to Nate Alexander over the right side, and he is into the end zone for a Fort Morgan touchdown with 11:29 left in the game. That brings the score 31-0. Fort Morgan with the extra point coming up.
Just that same play that they've ran all night long. 2 running backs or 2 blocking backs leading up off tackle on the right-hand side, and Alexander not touched till he made it into the end zone.
So Jacob Frick in to try the point after. See if he can make one. He hasn't been on his game too well tonight, but giving it there is the kick, and it is good this time. So that makes the score 32-0 Fort Morgan with 11:29 left in the game.
32, Englewood 0.
You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustang Football on B106 and B106.com. A happy homecoming football game for Fort Morgan tonight. Eric Kimball ready to kick off to Englewood. Give the Pirates another shot at moving the ball. So he gets the nod from the official. Approaches and kicks. Nice kick over to the left side. Unfortunately, it goes out of bounds. So that will give Englewood the ball at the, where do they put that, at the 40 in high school?
35, I
The
believe.
35, yeah, standing at the
15-yard
35.
penalty from the 20.
Okay. So first down, Englewood from the 35 with 11:29 left in the game. Englewood just doesn't seem to have it together tonight. Every play they're trying to wave somebody into so they have enough players on the field.
Maybe we'll see some of the Fort Morgan JV getting a little varsity experience here down the stretch.
So Maestas under center takes it, pitches to the left to Justin Wade, and he is brought down at the 35, so that is no gain. So it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 35.
Wade's first run of the night. Just a quick pitch to the left. Thank you.
So 2nd and 10 from the 35 for Englewood. 10:58 and counting in the game. Maestas under center. They are in the I formation. Hands off over the left side to Pearson, and he is dropped down after about a 2-yard gain. They'll give him progress out to the 47, the 37, excuse me.
That young man's going to be tired tonight on the bus ride home. You know, he's given his all for the team, and he just doesn't have much support out there tonight.
So 3rd and 7 from the 38 for Englewood. Break the huddle coming up to the line. One receiver to the left. I formation, tight end to the right. Maestas under center takes the ball, hands off. It is a reverse around the left side, and Kimmel Johnson is brought down for a loss back to about just outside the 30-yard line. So that's a loss of 7.
Johnson around the left side.
So they'll bring up fourth and 14 from the 31.
Gonna bring up a 4th.
Yeah, that was a good conception play in Fort Morgan. Just having the aggression that being up by 32 points gives you, was able to get there and stuff it.
Nice help on the backside. Snap back. Punt, short punt. Lands about the 50, and it rolls down to the Fort Morgan 43-yard line.
At the 43-yard line, the Mustangs will have it their first down and 10.
And it kind of went off to the right, bounced Englewood's way, but Fort Morgan still with great field position out on their own 43, 42, and like I said, I hope to see some of the younger kids get a chance here.
Martin's still in there. It looks like they're still pretty much with their starting unit. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 43 for Fort Morgan. Martins takes it, hands off to Jared Boehm up the center, off to the right, and he is down and driving, and he has got a first down,
Hammers his way to the 42.
hauling
tacklers down to about the 42-yard line of Englewood.
I think the defensive line for Englewood is just worn out, and so they're just really not even doing much other than standing up and letting the offensive linemen of Fort Morgan push them downfield. You know, we talk about that and the discipline problems that Englewood has exhibited, but Fort Morgan's offensive line has done a great job tonight as well.
So Fort Morgan receivers left and right, I formation. Martin's under center. Takes the snap, hands it off to Nate Alexander up the middle, and he is brought down at about the 40-yard line, so that'll be a gain of 2. So it'll be 2nd and 8 from the 40 for Fort Morgan.
Yeah, you don't see Alexander going straight up the middle very often, but Fort Morgan coaches are just able to play, choose any book in the playbook, and it will probably work tonight.
So 8:29 and counting in the fourth period, 32-0 Fort Morgan. Fort Morgan in the I formation. Receivers left and right. Martin's under center. Takes the snap, hands off to Bohm up the middle, and he's down to the 30, going out to the left, to the 25, to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, down to the, we're going to call him down just outside of the 5-yard line. Jared Bohm is a load tonight.
Now I don't even think the linebackers and safeties want a piece of him.
First down and goal.
So it'll be first and goal, Fort Morgan, from, we'll call it the 5-yard line. So first and goal from the 5 for Fort Morgan. In their I formation, Jared Bohm as the fullback, Nate Alexander in the halfback position. Receivers left and right. Martins takes it, hands off to Bohm up the middle. And it is a touchdown for Jared Bohm. Touchdown Fort Morgan from the 5 yards out. Brings the score to 38-0 with 7:47 left in the game.
Bohm's second rushing touchdown of the game, 5 yards on that carry, 18 on a carry in the first half. Nice night by all the running backs for Fort Morgan. Martins, Alexander, and Bohm, all three having a good night.
So Jacob Frick in for the point after attempt. Ball down, kick. That was an excellent kick on Jacob's part. So that makes the score 39-0. Fort Morgan with 7:47 left in the game. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs football on B106 and B106.com. Welcome back to Legion Field in Fort Morgan. With Kevin Rohde, I'm Brian Nickel. Fort Morgan 39, Englewood nothing. 7:47 left in the game. Jared Bohm just scored on a 5-yard run to put it at this score.
Johnson back deep.
Eric Kimball ready to kick off to the Pirates. Ball is down, up, and received at the 10, at the 15, 20, 25, 30, and that'll be about as far as, I believe it is Kamal Johnson that ran that out to the 31-yard line. So it'll be first and 10, Englewood from the 31.
And I wonder what Englewood's coaches are thinking, how they can try and build some success for next week. Of course, the Mustangs now have a little bit of pride in keeping that shutout and being able to hang 39 on a team and have offensive and defensive excellent jobs to build on.
So Englewood up to the line, receiver to the left, T formation, handoff up the middle to Pearson, and he gets out to the 30, we'll say the 35-yard line, so that'll be a gain of 4. So it'll be second and 6 from the 35-yard line.
Gain of 5, second down and 5.
You know, it's nice to see kids still playing hard for Englewood. It's hard to play hard on a cold night when you're down 39-0, but there's no quit in Pearson.
So second and 6 from the 35 for Englewood. One receiver right. Handoff up the middle to Pearson again, and he is up to the 50, and he is down to the 40, 45. So he is down to the 33-yard line of Fort Morgan for a first down for Englewood.
Yeah, kind of a misdirection play. Everything started going right, and then Pearson got the ball and headed back to the left. A really nicely drawn up play and caught Fort Morgan over pursuing again.
So first and 10 from the, we'll call it the 34-yard line of Fort Morgan. Englewood in a full house T, receiver left, takes the ball, handed off up the middle to Kamal Johnson, and he is down to the 29-yard line. So that's a gain of 5, so it'll be second and 5 from the 29.
Only Johnson's sixth carry. On his last one, he lost 6 yards, and that gave him 0 yards for the game, so he's probably happy to get some positive yardage on that play.
So second and 6 from the 29 with 6:15 left in the game. 39-0 Fort Morgan. Makes this under center, takes the ball, hands off up the middle to Justin Wade. And there is not much room there. The interior line of the Fort Morgan defense stuffed that run from the get-go.
Stacked up over the left side.
So that brings up 3rd and 5 from the, down to about the 27-yard line.
At the 33, 3rd and 3.
Yeah, Wade's second carry of the night is all.
So 3rd and 3 from the 27 for Englewood. I formation, receiver to the left, wing back to the left, handoff coming around the right side to Kamel Johnson, and he has got enough for the first down. He is down to the Fort Morgan 17-yard line, so it'll be 1st and 10 Englewood from the 17.
The 7th carry of the night, another kind of change up and different look to a play, and Englewood kind of has Fort Morgan on their heels, and that shutout may not last, Coach.
So 5:13 left in the game. Mistis under center, takes the ball, handoff back to the left, and Kamel Johnson is thrown for about a 1-yard loss. So it'll be 2nd and 11 from the 18-yard line.
Lost the yard, 2nd down and 11.
Johnson comes up with a little bit of a sore hand on that play. I can imagine getting a helmet on the hand on a cold night like this would not feel very good.
So 2nd and 11 from the 19 for Englewood. Down 39-0 with 4:35 and counting in the 4th period. Maces brings the Pirates up to the line. Receiver left, looking to throw, running to the right, and he is pressured and overthrows his receiver at the 5-yard line. Incomplete pass, so that'll make it 3rd and 11 from the 19 for Englewood.
Well, he showed some courage there. He was running full speed, and the Fort Morgan defender was coming right at him, and just as he let go of the ball, he took quite a shot, and he delivered the ball almost right where it could be caught.
So 4:17 left in the game. Fort Morgan 39, Englewood nothing. 3rd and 11 from the 19. Englewood with one receiver to the right. Two backfield. Maces takes it, handoff up the middle to Pearson, and he is down to the 10-yard line. So that'll bring up 3rd down for Englewood. 4th down and 4 from about the 11-yard line.
Obviously 4-down territory for Englewood. It would really be a moral victory for Fort Morgan to keep the shutout, and for Englewood, who we really don't worry about, be a good chance for them to have something to build on for next game.
So 4th down, there's the snap. Maces takes a look, and he is being pressured out to the right. Thrown back, and it is intercepted by Fort Morgan at the 5-yard line. Intercepted, I believe, by Alexander Perez. We have a
Cody Almanza on the kick for the Mustangs.
So with 3:29 left
Ball is placed on the 5. Mustangs will take it over there
in the 4th period. Be 1st and 10 from the 5.
Certainly would hope that Fort Morgan can run out the clock at this point.
3:29 left in the game. 39-0 over Englewood. 1st and 10 from the 5-yard line.
New quarterback.
Joey Schneider takes it, hands off up the middle, and Toby McBride out to the 20, 25, 30. No, it's not Toby McBride. That is Cody Birch.
That's going to be a Mustang 1st down.
Cody Birch on the run out to the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10, Fort Morgan from the 30.
Well, that's a good way to start the drive. Get a kid in there that hasn't carried the ball before and have him carry it out there 25 yards.
So 1st and 10 from the 30 for Fort Morgan. Joey Snyder in at quarterback. Takes the snap. Hands off up the middle to Cody Birch again. Gets it out to the 36-yard line for a gain of 6. So it'll be 2nd and 4 from the 30.
Good to see some of the JV kids getting a chance to play, and Coach Chisholm just run the fullback dive. As long as you can run the fullback dive and get first downs, there's not really much use in getting fancy with the younger kids.
So 2nd and 4 from the 36. We have a penalty flag thrown. Dead ball on. Dead ball offside on Fort Morgan, lined up in the neutral zone. So that'll bring up 2nd and 8 from the 31.
Yeah, it's one of those kind of unforgivable sins being a former offensive line coach. You come to the line, you can see the ball. There's no reason to line up over that spot, but being exciting, it's homecoming, and maybe you're a freshman or sophomore getting your first varsity experience.
So 2nd and 9 from the 31. Joey Snyder under center. Takes the snap, hands off to the right-hand side for no gain. That time it was to Toby McBride. So that'll be a loss of 1. So it'll bring up 3rd and
9.
3rd and 9 from the 30. With 1:36 and counting left in the game.
First down here pretty much ensure this is the last drive.
So Joey Snyder under center, eye back field. Hands off over the right side to Elliott Wunsch, and it is close out to the first down. They're going to mark him at the 40.
Over the right side.
So we'll see if he has enough for the first down. They're going to mark it. Looks from here, if he's on the 40, it should be enough for a first down. And Fort Morgan should be able to run they're going to have a referee's timeout here and measure for the first down.
First time the Fort Morgan Volunteer Fire Department chain gang had to do much work other than running up and down the sidelines. They get to come out and showcase their skills at carrying the chains.
They do an excellent job week in and week out.
I bet they've dressed warm for tonight too.
So we'll see. It is a first down, Fort Morgan, with 1:18 left in the game. 39-0 Fort Morgan over Englewood. So it is 1st and 10 at the 40 for Fort Morgan. So they should just be able to kneel on the ball and finish this game out for a big defeat over Englewood. So Joey Snyder under center with 2 receivers left and right. Receiver left and right. Eye backfield. Snyder takes it and takes a knee. So that'll bring up 2nd and about 12 from the 2nd and 13 from the 37. With 40 seconds left in the game. Joey Snyder gets the play from the sideline, which I would presume will be another kneel down to end this game. Just in time for the train to come through to signal the victory for Fort Morgan.
A very familiar sound of the train whistle in Fort Morgan.
So with 20 seconds left, Joey Snyder takes a knee and is down at the 35-yard line, and that will be the end of the game. Fort Morgan 39, Englewood nothing. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs football on B106 and B106.com. Back at Legion Field at Fort Morgan, we have fireworks going off after the game, after Fort Morgan had fireworks on the field, dominating Englewood tonight, 39-0. The second half had Fort Morgan scoring 2 touchdowns with 11:29 left in the fourth quarter. Nate Alexander had a 5-yard run on 5 plays, and with 7:47 left in the game, Jared Boehm had a 5-yard run that capped the scoring that left it at 39-0 Fort Morgan on homecoming night. So with fireworks over for now, I guess, we will take a short break and come back with some stats from Kevin. So you have been listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs football on B106 and B106.com. Welcome back to Legion Field in Fort Morgan. Fort Morgan 39, Englewood nothing. This Mustang postgame show is brought to you by High Plains Bank and Wiggins. The friendly staff at High Plains Bank and Wiggins is ready to assist you with a home loan, equity line of credit, commercial loan, or checking account. To receive hometown service on a higher plane, visit High Plains Bank today. And Kevin, I believe you have some second half stats for us.
Yeah, real quick before the stats, we just got an update. Brush is ahead 50-21 partway through the fourth quarter, so looks like they've got things under control there. Well, Fort Morgan stats for the night, all positive. Passing, we never expect much. Haven't seen it all season long. We have 2 attempts, no completions, no interceptions. So no mistakes, at least in the passing game. Rushing, a lot. Martins runs 10 times for 48 yards. Alexander, the star of the game, runs 19 times for 129 yards. That's over 6 yards per carry, almost 6.5. 4 touchdowns for Alexander, touchdowns of 58, 29, 2, and 5. Boehm carries the ball 6 times for 79 yards. That's over 13 yards per carry. 2 touchdowns, 1 of 18 and 1 of 35. Davis finally gets into the action second half with 2 carries for 34 yards, a 17-yard average. McBride, after a lot of substitutions, gets in there, gets 1 carry for -1. Some other younger kids, Wunsch gets a carry for 10 yards, and Birch gets 2 carries for 31 yards. Fort Morgan ending the night with 41 carries for 321 yards, just under 8 yards per carry. On Englewood's side, a little different tale other than Pearson, who seems to be their horse all season long. Mestis passes 5 times, gets 2 completions for 24 yards, both in the first half, with 1 interception in the second half. He rushes 5 times for 7 yards. Pearson, 23 carries for 117 yards, still running hard even in the fourth quarter, and almost got them down for a score single-handedly. Johnson, 8 carries for 15 yards. Wade, 2 carries for 1 yard. So Englewood ends the night with 38 carries for 140 yards for a total offense of 164 yards, just over half of what Fort Morgan had at 320 yards. I'd say that the story of tonight was domination by the offensive and defensive line for Fort Morgan, and the running backs took advantage of that and ran it down their throats, and they couldn't stop it.
Yeah, the averages were pretty good for the Fort Morgan running backs. The right side of the offensive line seemed to be opening some pretty big holes there for Nate Alexander there during most of the game, but it seemed like anywhere Fort Morgan wanted to run, it was there. But like you said, it was total domination right from the get-go. 25-0 at halftime, 39-0 at the end of the game, and they just never let up. I had heard the interview with Coach Chisholm that John Beltran had done this morning, and he said that's just what he wanted to do. He says like blood in the water with the Sharks. They just want to, when they see that, they just want to keep after it and just go after it and don't let up, and that's pretty much what they did tonight.
Absolutely, just what you'd want for your first game in a new league, first regular season game in a new league, homecoming, coming off of being 3-2 coming in at the beginning, now 4-2. I guess it's time to shine up the shoes and put on the tux. Once again, in case you didn't catch us at half, Allie Schneider, homecoming queen, and Leo Lopez, the king. Lots of good candidates, lots of good athletes, academic kids, involved in all facets of life. Fort Morgan High School has got a lot to be proud of. You were mentioning the soccer team was doing well. Just kind of a return to a good feeling about sports in Fort Morgan.
Yeah, I did say I think the soccer team did win again this week, so they're I believe 8-1, I believe. So things are looking up here at Fort Morgan. So let's take a short break, and then we'll be back to finish up the post-game show. You've been listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs football on B106 and B106.com. Back at Legion Field in Fort Morgan with Kevin Rohde, I'm Brian Nickel. Fort Morgan has defeated Englewood tonight 39-0, and I don't think the score indicates that it was as close as that, but it was a well-played game by Fort Morgan. The turnovers and mistakes were almost nothing compared to what they had done last week at Denver North. And it's a very positive game to move forward on next week as they go play at Skyview next Saturday at noon.
Skyview hosting Weld Central tomorrow, but prior to that, 0-5 on the year. So hopefully another opportunity for Fort Morgan to just continue to build confidence and dominate. As an offensive and defensive line coach, I think we'd spend some time watching this and pick out some times maybe when we got some pancakes and some other good blocks and really get the kids feeling good about themselves going into the rest of the season, but tell them that they really have to work hard to not let up.
Yeah, don't think it's just going to come easy just not going out and doing your work. You have to work every day at practice and keep your mind on what your job is to do, and that'll, if everybody does that, then they'll be victorious. I'm almost sure of it. So anything else?
I'd just say happy homecoming to all the alumni that are back in town, and to those listening on the internet. Thanks for joining us, and look forward to going to Skyview for another Saturday afternoon game.
Ditto, and everybody out there, please be careful whether you're driving, and arrive safe to wherever you're headed. The sound engineer and producer of Fort Morgan Mustangs football has been Braden Godin. Tonight's producer of Mustang Replay is Trenton Klimper. For Kevin Rohde, I'm Brian Nickel. The final score tonight, Fort Morgan 39, Englewood 0. You've been listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs football on B106 and B106.com. Good evening, everyone.